We live in a weird time.
I remember I watched a movie that was like one of those exploitation. I think it was a biker exploitation film, and Colonel Sanders had a cameo in it, and it was like a commercial for Kentucky Fried Chicken, where like the main characters were like at a KFC, and he was like, "Ah, yes, this is my secret recipe chicken. It's delicious, isn't it?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's really nice." It's like, and it was like I remember seeing the explanation is that the Colonel really liked drive-in movies and like used it as an opportunity to go, hey, you know what's great at drive-in movies? A bucket of chicken.
Not wrong. That's not wrong. You know.
Hey everybody, welcome to Smark Avengers. My name is Corey, and with me are Dylan and John.
You always catch me by surprise as the one you think is going to be the intro.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna
Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, we were talking about Colonel Sanders and Grindhouse Homes.
Yeah.
So, guys, this is episode 1 of volume 4.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
So we have done 52 episodes up to this point.
Yes.
That is a year of making content. We have not missed a single week.
We won an Emmy.
We won an Emmy. Michael P.S. Hayes made fun of us for it. Fucking Bad Street USA.
Fucking clothes. Have you seen the way that man dresses? Like, come on now.
If I was like a more competent editor and really put the time and effort in, I'd put in a snippet of the Bad Street USA music video, like right here.
Yeah.
Probably just the scene of like fucking Buddy Rogers and Terry Gordy running out of a house. I don't know why that would be the scene.
Yeah. I like how you're not going to put Michael Hayes in the clip.
What I should do is I should cut here and put that uncomfortable photo of Michael Hayes like posing with his pants undone, like with a Confederate flag behind him.
Uncomfortable. Anyway, so in the grand tradition of comic books, what better time to relaunch with a new number 1? However, the trick is this is not a new creative team, but it's still just the 3 of us. And we're probably going to be, for now. And we will likely just be doing the same stuff we've always been doing. So I thought it would be really fun to do kind of a retrospective of the last year and a little bit before that for the Smark Avengers, just because we do have a bit of a lengthy history. So this is our 4th volume. Volume 1 never made air. It was more of an idea. Yeah. It was more of an idea. On the Patreon? Okay. To pay for it.
That's where we're just going to go back and like pretend these are old episodes. Record pretending it's 2005.
Yeah, you're like, wow, I can't believe that we're here in 2021.
I sure hope Obama gets elected.
Yeah, he seemed like a nice gentleman.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was volume 1. Volume 2 was in 2023, and it was only about 8-9 episodes long. And what happened was, at the time, I was recording on an old laptop that was not really great. And some of the episodes that we had recorded, the audio quality was really, really bad. And we lost 2 episodes, and it was incredibly frustrating. So we just kind of called it on volume 2 after about 9 episodes. Volume 3 is what we just wrapped up. So volume 3 is a full year. We started it the first week of March of 2024. This is going to come out in the last week of February, first week of March. And so, like I said, I thought it'd be kind of fun just to kind of go through and look at those older episodes and kind of, any memories that come up about it, things you thought we could have done better with that particular topic, and, kind of work our way up to the present moment. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. So these are all stored on the Smark Avengers YouTube channel. And I'm going to go back to our content, and we'll start a little bit with volume 2. So the first episode of the Smark Avengers that ever made it to YouTube was published on January 15th, 2023. So about 2 years ago, or a little over 2 years ago. And it was our Smark Avengers Talk About Beast, where we started our breakdown of the original X-Men characters. This episode kind of was fun for me because it was the episode where we got that amazing clip of Dylan finding out the weird coyote-faced beast.
Yeah.
people who know me and have watched the episode do really like to quote you with the whole like, "Oh, I don't like it." So like, yeah, you do have like a bit of a catchphrase now, Dylan.
Oh,
I didn't expect that one to be the catchphrase.
Yeah. There've been so many others. So yeah, that was our very first episode that we made it onto YouTube with. Any thoughts on talking about Beast? Because it was really funny. We kind of revisited the topic a couple of times because of changes they made to Beast's character. At the time, Beast was still kind of evil. And by evil, I mean like kind of committing political assassinations using Wolverine as an unwilling participant.
I like how that's kind of evil in your eyes. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose if you think about it, that's
War crimes.
Yeah. God, you can't commit war crimes anymore, man. You know what I mean?
No.
Without somebody calling you kind of evil. Ridiculous.
Snowflakes.
I know. You guys need to get some backbone. What do you need?
Yeah. It's all that.
I'm
gonna stop.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's all that DEI.
That'll fix it.
Yeah, that'll getting rid of those words.
Yeah, get rid of that, and then the world will be a happier place. So long as you're a straight white male, you'll be grand. You know.
Yeah, three of us were golden.
And that's the thing, man. That's a demographic that just didn't have enough
Representation.
It really needed more, people to get behind the cause for the straight white man. We really needed.
I
God,
feel like our voices aren't heard.
Yeah. That's what we needed.
So yeah. So any thoughts about we'll go ahead. Episode 2 was the first time we really broke down a major event. That was the Smark Avengers Talk Ultimatum, where we broke down the Ultimatum event that effectively killed the Ultimate Universe that was established in the 2000s. And more importantly, we broke down all 27-ish on-panel deaths and the humorous manners in which some of these beloved characters were needlessly murdered off.
Needlessly? I think it had to happen.
Did it?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I still think like they had a good thing going with the Ultimate Universe, but it just got, it went off the rails a little bit towards the end there.
Well, I mean, they're trying again with it now. I've not read anything from the Ultimate stuff. I know that in the Ultimate Marvel stuff right now, Wolverine is like Winter Soldier. So he is like this kill agent. And I know that Ultimate X-Men is set in feudal Japan with schoolgirl characters.
Okay.
So it's a little weirder. Yeah, Ultimate X-Men is a little weirder.
So what's weird about that?
I mean, it's just not what you would expect.
You gotta open your eyes more, Corey. Know what do you mean?
Coincidentally, one of the characters is Cyclops, and I think she's one-eyed. Still shoots the laser beam out.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was pretty ambitious.
We'll be talking about that at some point.
We'll revisit Ultimatum number 2 when it happens again.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty ambitious of them to kill all the characters and then completely just destroy this comic for good, and then like 15 years later go, yeah, but we'll just bring it back. How hard could it be? I'm like, everybody's dead.
Well, it wasn't even that. They killed
Everybody
off
died.
all these characters, and then they tried to keep it going for a little bit longer. So there was like a period of Ultimate Comics where half of like all of these iconic characters were just gone.
Yeah. Eaten by the Blob.
Eaten by the Blob, drowned in the Ultimatum wave. We never found out what happened to Toad.
He was eaten by the Blob.
Oh, okay. Just swallowed him
Frog
whole.
legs.
Yeah, there you go. A delicacy. Episode 3 of Volume 2 was the Spark Avengers pick their favorite weird characters, in which we got to discuss such iconic characters as Armless Tiger Man,
Tiger Man,
Ruby Thursday, the Animal Vegetable Mineral Man. I believe we talked about Hell Cow as well.
I think so.
Stone Boy, who the Legion character who could just turn his body into stone, but once he did, he couldn't move. Arm Fall Off Boy, who could remove his arms. So we had fun with that one.
This is great because you're gonna remind me of stuff I've forgotten about. Arm fall off, boy. That's
This is
so.
great. He had that great sound effect of plorp when he pulled his arm off.
Well, that's the noise that arms make when they come off.
Yeah.
We all know this.
Episode 4 of Volume 2 was the Smark Avengers Talk About Angel, which we continued our deep dive into the X-Men by talking about how Warren Worthington III has basically 2 storylines. One, I'm going to start a team and be the person who funds the operations of the team because I'm a billionaire. And 2, I'm going to turn into Archangel and be a murderer. And that was kind of it for those 2 pieces of storyline.
Yeah. I mean, we got a lot of material. We got a whole podcast out of boring ass Angel somehow. So
it's kind of impressive. We went for 53 minutes and 16 seconds.
Not even a full hour. It's
not a full hour.
It was tough.
Yeah, mind you, Beast went 57 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yeah, well, we had to cut out a load of stuff.
Yeah, a little bit.
Me crying.
Yeah, from laughter.
Wow, from the fucking picture.
Episode 5 from Volume 2 was the Smark Avengers Talk About Batman actors, where we talked every actor who at that point who has played Batman, starting from the 1930s black and white adventure serials up into Robert Pattinson and Ben Affleck.
Was that the Downey Dyer one?
No, that was later. This
Okay.
one we were just talking about the actors who played Batman. We didn't really talk about the process of making the movies or anything like that, because we talked about how the actor who played Batman in the 40s and the actor who played Superman in the 40s had worked together as well on a PSA on venereal disease.
Okay, I forgot that one.
Yeah.
So, episode 6, the Smark Avengers talk B, C, and D-list villains, where we talked about our favorite dumb villains. Very famously, this is where we first found out about Dylan's love of Hydro Man.
Yeah. He's a great character.
Episode 7 was our very first murder episode as the Smark Avengers kill Aquaman.
The murder episode.
The murder episode. Very famous because where you guys found out about Aquaman's magic water hand for that he had for that period of time.
Yep.
And the the birth of hitting Aquaman with a car. Or John seducing Lex Luthor, a powerful white man, so that he could use his resources to commit murder.
It's a foolproof plan right there.
He's a seductive man. That's why he won't show his face on camera, because we would just be smitten instantly. We wouldn't be able to do a show. We'd just be like, oh my goodness. Put your shirt back on, you know?
Episode 8. The Smark Avengers watch Japanese Spider-Man, where we watched episodes 1 and 2 of Japanese Spider-Man. Originally, that was going to be more of a long-running process, but then people started to report episodes of Japanese Spider-Man on YouTube, and they were getting pulled.
Yeah. Not because of us, though. It wasn't because.
No, I don't think we did.
It wasn't because our podcast got so successful that it drove loads of people to go watch Japanese Spider-Man, and then YouTube were like, "What the hell?
What's going on here?"
So many people watching Japanese Spider-Man. No. Maybe it
this
was
one,
us. I don't know.
This one was very famous because we got to talk about how when they made there was the little monster man that they made out of clay, and also how Peter Parker didn't exist, but Spider-Man was a guy who raced motorbikes and drove a car. And
that guy looked a bit like a rip-off Doctor Doom as well, didn't he?
Yeah, because they were also Nazis. They were the what were they, the Iron Cross Army?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So second time Nazis came up. So that was the end of volume 2. We had recorded an episode that we're going to basically do again after this. And then there was an episode where we had our first draft of, we had to build our own X-Men characters, but I don't think we did it in a draft format. I think we just did X-Men characters. Like
we didn't draft it. We just came up with our 8 characters.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Because then
Storm was on all of them.
Yes, I think that was the case. Because I think what had happened is the audio footage that I got from Skype was so fucking garbage that was kind of the end of the second volume of Smark Avengers.
That's a shame because I liked that episode. I thought that was really good.
Well, we're going to be able to recreate it, and now that we're doing our auctions, because now we get to put them on a wheel and make it really chaotic.
Yeah. Chaos wheel.
Chaos wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So, any thoughts on those first 8 episodes of Smark Avengers that we didn't touch on? Any memories unlocked? Because I can give you some stats on those too, because I think they're interesting, of course.
Stats like 1 million viewers.
Yeah, how many people like? What was the most viewed?
Oh,
the least viewed.
Yeah. Interesting. They all had 0 views.
No, they didn't have 0 views. I will tell you the least viewed episode was a tie between us watching Japanese Spider-Man and us talking about Angel.
I was gonna guess Angel as well.
Yeah, nobody really likes Angel.
Yeah, that seems like a safe bet.
The most viewed episodes were the first 2, us talking about Beast and talking about Ultimatum.
It's not a good sign that the viewership fell off almost immediately.
No, it didn't fall off. It just cratered a little bit talking about Angel.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm wrong. I apologize. The least viewed one, oddly enough, was us talking about killing Aquaman. I feel like that should have been more.
Right.
Maybe people just didn't care about Aquaman that much.
People need to know how to kill him.
Maybe they should go back and listen to that episode.
I think they should. You should go back and listen to it.
I mean, the second Jason Momoa Aquaman film certainly did the trick.
That killed him. That's what we should have done.
Did. Yeah,
that's what we should,
make a second movie. Remove Amber Heard.
Make a film about it. That'll kill him stone dead. You know what I mean?
First movie did pretty well, if memory serves. Is nobody really wanted to see a second one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He had a talking. He wasn't talking. He had a sidekick octopus in that one.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Topo.
What's
I've
wrong
had that
with that?
on Blu-ray for about the last, I want to say, 12 months, and I've still not watched it.
Well, you got other stuff to watch.
Yeah, this is true.
Mm-hmm.
So Nicole Kidman in that one too. That cast is unreal, though. If you really think about it, that cast had Nicole Kidman, Willem Dafoe, Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
Nobody just gave a shit about that. Because again, it's a second Aquaman movie. I feel like they got lucky with the first one, and it was all banking on people liking Jason Momoa. I guarantee it.
Mm.
Well, he did a lot of heavy lifting.
Certainly did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the last episode of our show posted, it was March 5th, 2023. Because I found when I went back to start uploading for Volume 3, the Aquaman episodes and the Japanese Spider-Man episodes hadn't been loaded. So they were on there, they just hadn't been posted yet. So I posted both of them about a week before we started putting the show up again.
Mm-hmm.
So March 5th, 2023 was the last proper Volume 2 episode. Volume 3 launched on March 1st, 2024. So like I said, it's been a year. And we started off pretty hot and heavy with Smark Avengers Talk About Marvel Films. So that's where we were discussing whether or not the MCU could ever return back to the heights that they were pre-Infinity War. Because we were talking about how those films kind of dropped off after they did the big Endgame storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've been proven, now that time has gone on, that absolutely, yes, they can. Back to the heady heights they used to hit with Iron Man. It's strength to strength right now. It couldn't be better.
I mean, John, we'll ask John about Captain America later, I'm sure, but the review that I saw was Captain America Brave New World, neither brave nor a new world.
Yeah.
But it is Captain America.
It is Captain. Well, some people want to debate you on that one too, because not a lot of people are excited about that. Volume 3, Episode 2, the Smark Avengers talk about Spider-Man spinoffs, where we first discussed the Sony films.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
We did do that.
Yeah, we did.
And then once again, proven to be correct about how great they were. Kraven the Hunter, Madam Web, all.
Morbius, Venom.
Massive hits.
Was that the one? Was that the one we watched, Morbius?
No,
That's the one
that
where
was
you
later.
guys.
Yeah.
No. You both watched Morbius and talked about it because you got mad at me because I didn't.
Yes, because the gimmick was we all said John had seen it, and I was like, well, we should all see it because it's a bad
I didn't agree
film.
to that.
And you were like, yeah, no worries. And then the week after,
the
when
fuck
we
I
recorded
did.
it, you did. You said you were gonna do it, and then
definitely did.
and then on the you're like, I'm not actually going to watch Morbius. I'm like, so I had to watch Morbius
Nobody held a gun to your head there, bud.
that you know of.
That you know of. I don't
You
know
don't
what's
know
going
what
on
I
over
do in my
Northern
day-to-day
Ireland.
life. Sometimes that's just what happens. People like to mug me, you know. So we watched. Well, 2 or 3 of us watched. You should watch it. It's really good, actually. I think you'd like it.
2 or 3 of us watch. How many people are on the show, Dylan?
Huh?
You said 2 or 3 of us watched it.
I
How many
said
people
2.
are
I
on the
said
show?
2 out of 3.
I think I said 2 or 3 of us. I went, or?
Yeah. Well,
Is there a 4th person on the show that I don't know of?
yes, but I can't tell you who it is.
It's
You
Baby
think
Juggernaut.
you think John's in his house by himself?
That's true.
Another person in there. You don't know.
You don't know? Volume 3, Episode 3, the Smark Avengers talk about the Robins, which is really funny because this one came up during our trivia game. We were talking about which Robin became Nightwing. So that was March 15, 2024. Almost a year later, though, you at least remembered 3 of the 5 Robins.
Yeah.
So not bad for someone who didn't know there were so many of them previously.
I mean, how am I supposed to remember stuff that happened a year ago? I don't remember stuff that happened like a minute ago. I've already forgotten how we started the show. You know.
Fair enough. Volume 4, we return back to our X-Men deep dive as the Smark Avengers talk about Iceman. That coincidentally was a longer episode than the Angel episode, but we had even less to say about it because most of our comments were like how boring we found Iceman to be and how he didn't really have a storyline aside from just being around all the time.
Yeah.
Because we did all of those, like how he was constantly featured on lists of like best X-Men, most important X-Men who should be in the MCU, and I'm like, really? This guy? This is who we're fighting for?
Yeah. Like most
He's made out of
powerful
ice.
X-Men as well.
Yeah, he's like an Omega level X-Men or something.
Mm-hmm.
Volume. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, just because he can manipulate ice.
Water.
Yeah. Like,
he can make himself super big and put his consciousness into other parts of him, and
of course he can. That's a real thing.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's the most powerful person in the world. He's more powerful than the Flash.
More power. Well, it's coincidentally enough. Volume 3, Episode 5, the Smark Avengers kill the Flash. An episode that broke us all because we'd been recording for about 45 minutes, and I realized we had not gotten through all of the powers of the second of 4 Flashes.
Yeah. It went on for a long
while. Kind of discussing that one. Oh. So those are the first 5 episodes of Volume 3. Any thoughts on memories about that? Things do you want to think about, or?
I mean,
comments?
I don't want to think about the Flash episode ever again.
It's a rough one.
We really did talk about the Flash for a long time.
Everything we suggested to kill him as well. Corey was like, "Nope, can't do that.
Can't do it because his powers are too broken."
Yeah,
I do remember, like sitting there for a long time, just thinking like, we're still talking about his powers. Like, I remember.
Well, and they were
getting
weirder and weirder because it was like, oh, he can vibrate his brain and remember things that he was forced to forget.
Yeah.
What the
fuck does that even mean?
Because I remember that one in particular broke you. You're like, you mean memory?
Yeah. Wow. But the phrase "vibrate your brain," though. Like,
yeah.
What do we do with our lives? You know, I feel like that's what happened. We got this kind of like existential, like, this is what we do now. Like, you know, this is our life. I have to listen to somebody talk to me about a man that goes fast, but he doesn't just go. He can access the speed force and he can travel. I'm like, what is this? What you know? I don't know.
So quick stats on that one. Of those 5 episodes, the most viewed episode was us talking about the Sony Spider-Man films.
Well, Spider-Man's a big draw. You know?
Well, and it was kind of in vogue at the time because at that point, Madam Web was just about to come out.
Yeah, I don't think we'd seen it.
No, nobody had seen it at that point when it got released.
Nobody has seen it now.
Somebody seen it now? Our least viewed episode was a tie between talking about Iceman, which again goes back to that whole he's boring.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And also, sadly, us killing the Flash. People don't like to hear us talk about murdering people.
People didn't want to have to sit through 45 minutes of, and then he can also do this, you know.
Listen, that's not my fault.
I'm not. That's what I mean. Somebody at DC needs to apologize to us formally for what we had to sit through with the Flash. This is not appropriate. We deserve compensation. I think.
All right. So, Volume 3, Episode 6, the Smark Avengers talk about whatever they want. Really early in the run before we had to go to that depth, huh?
Episode 6, the Smark Avengers run out of ideas.
That one gave us the storyline. I think that might have been the birth of Baby Juggernaut. We were also talking about Armless Tiger Man's career of going to the convention circuits a la Virgil and like solving a mystery. Episode 7, the Smark Avengers pick their Sinister Six. That one was famous for the Oops All Goblins team for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys educated me that there was actually a Gray Goblin, which I had no idea about.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Grey Goblin might be coming up again in the future, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys were also, I think this is the first time I really saw your love for the Hobgoblin. Because when I picked Hobgoblin for my team, you asked me which one, and I just picked the first one that I thought, and you're like, "Oh, you picked the worst one." Volume 3, Episode 8. Smark Avengers talk about overrated characters. I think we kind of talked about our disdain of the Punisher and Wolverine and Venom.
Yeah.
In particular, that's who's on the thumbnail.
Yeah, but it's gotta be some of those guys.
Volume 3, Episode 9. The Smark Avengers go to WrestleMania, where Dylan, you told us all about your trip to WrestleMania for nights 1 and 2.
Yeah, it was really good.
And Volume 3, Episode 10, the Smark Avengers talk about X-Men films, where we did all of the X-Men films from the 2000s up until the present day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when I learned there was like one of those movies that I forgot existed, especially the later ones.
What one did you forget existed?
I think it might have been I got the Dark Phoenix storyline mixed up with the Apocalypse storyline because it felt like they should have been the same movie for me for some reason.
Oh, interesting. The only way to defeat Apocalypse is Phoenix.
I guess that's how it made sense in my mind.
It does make sense.
So, any thoughts you have on those movies before I tell you what our most and least viewed were?
No.
Fair enough.
I think because you're looking at the stats, so you're also looking at the thumbnails.
Mm-hmm.
The one where we talk about overrated characters, I think I drew you as Venom.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's before this or after this, but there's another thumbnail where we talk about Venom, and I just took the exact
same picture.
Yeah. I just draw a new one. I just took the same picture. Because I wanted to see if anybody would notice, and I don't know.
Oh, I noticed. I didn't call you out on it, but I noticed.
Like, they're already really lazy thumbnails, and I thought, how about
honestly, I really love the thumbnails. It's like one of my favorite things about them is just like they just stand out to me.
Some of them are really good.
So, John, do you have any thoughts where I jump into what do you think were the most viewed and least viewed of these 5?
I would like to think Sinister 6 episode was the most viewed.
Okay.
We'd like to think that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't. And I think I'm really sorry about this, Dylan, but I think probably your WrestleMania review was like the least listened or viewed.
I mean, that makes sense because it's a comics channel. And
Exactly.
It's kind of out of character for us to for one. But we're smart.
It's also almost a 2-hour long episode too.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it lasted
That
for
one
2
of the
days.
X-Men
Well, I don't know what you
episode
want me
of
to
2
do.
hours. Yeah, yeah. That and the X-Men films are 2 hours long.
Yeah.
I will. So here's the thing: the least viewed was us picking the Sinister Six.
Oh, nailed it.
Yeah, that was the least. That was the least viewed. People did not want us to talk about the Sinister Six.
Well, people can go fuck themselves.
The most
Bunch of
viewed.
heathens.
The most viewed was our first ever talk about whatever we want. I guess people just
Yeah.
really like us rambling.
Well, we're very good at that.
We are. We're rambling men.
Some of us are better at it than others.
Volume 3, Episode 11, the Smark Avengers talk about Ben Reilly, where we did a deep dive on the Clone War or the Clone Saga.
Okay, that one I really like the thumbnail for.
Volume 3, Episode 12 is us doing a watch along with the Generation X made for TV movie.
I remember that one.
Mhm.
Volume 3, Episode 13, the Smark Avengers talk about whatever they want again.
Okay, what's the thumbnail for that?
You're a hand puppet.
Oh yeah, because that was where I was really drunk, wasn't it?
Yes.
That doesn't narrow it down, to be fair.
Episode-
really drunk.
Episode 3 or episode 14, the Smark Avengers talk about Cyclops, where we got back into our X-Men breakdown. And then
I like the thumbnail for that one too. I thought that was really good.
we're getting incinerated by the optic blasts.
Yeah, but I'm like a little baby, it's like a potato with eyes.
And Volume 3, Episode 15, the Smark Avengers talk about updates to characters that didn't stick Part 1. So that was our first two-parter. I think maybe our only two-parter so far too.
Yeah. Did we do another one where there was 2 parts?
I don't think so.
No.
So any thoughts on those 5?
Okay.
Most watched and least watched. What do you think?
Ben Reilly, pretty high up there,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say, even though he's not on the thumbnail.
It's a jackle.
He's a
That's why I
jackal.
think honestly my favorite part of the thumbnail. We talk about Ben Reilly, but he's not on the thumbnail at all.
Least, I don't know, maybe like the part one.
So, John, do you want to make a guess?
I'll go with Dylan's guesses.
Okay.
You
So-
forgot them all already, huh?
Our least watch was us watching Generation X.
Oh, that's
I think
a crime.
That's going to be
That's
kind of a
shit.
running theme for the watch-alongs, I think,
Yeah. Well,
because it's just us reacting to something that you can't see unless you're syncing the audio up to the video as well.
Right.
Mhm.
That's the thing about the watch-alongs. Like, they're a great idea. I think they're fun, but it requires the listener to do like additional
Extra
work,
stup.
and
yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
people are into that. You know,
Our
it's a shame because that was a really good episode.
all those characters are so unlikable. Um,
Such a weird fucking film.
the most watched was talking about Ben Reilly.
There you go. People love him.
Yeah.
They should bring him back.
Yes, they should.
Wait, you know what?
Well, they
No,
did. Chasm. He's around.
maybe they shouldn't bring him back after all.
All right, episode 16, the Smark Avengers talk about updates to characters that didn't stick. Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
That one gave us the amazing thumbnail of a giant sperm cell that looks like the Green Goblin.
That was because you said I couldn't do it, and I'm like, I believe I can.
Episode 17, we talk about the most 90s characters, which was our first appearance of the Sugar Man.
Oh, that late into the
That early, yeah. Episode 17.
Wow.
18, we watched some more Japanese Spider-Man and the X-Men pilot Pride of the X-Men.
Oh yeah.
Episode 19, our first -1, where it's the Smark Avengers -1 talk about Hydro Man, I guess.
That was me and you.
Yep, that was me and you. My favorite detail of the thumbnail was the Thomas the Tank
that was
Engine
a tank
beach
engine
towel.
blanket. Yeah.
And then episode 20, the Smark Avengers talk about the 90s Batman films, where we talked about the 4 Batman films that came out in the 90s, and that's the Danny Dyer episode, where the thumbnail is Danny Dyer's head on Robin's body.
Classic.
So any thoughts on those before we talk about our, what was most viewed and least viewed?
Astounding that Sugar Man took that long to get into this show. Now that he's a staple.
There, it's a gap too between episode 17 and episode like 50 when he showed up again. we went most a year between appearances by the Sugar Man, but he turned up in a big way.
Oh boy, and unforgettable. Like what a way to make a comeback. You know what I mean?
Oh, there was involved. It was involved.
People will never forget that.
No. Goodness. So the least viewed episodes, it was a tie. Part 2 of the updates that didn't stick. And also, people didn't want to listen to us talk about Hydra Man, Dylan.
Well, that's bullshit. Second of all, do you think the goblin sperm like scared people away?
Maybe.
Thumbnail.
The most watched, oddly enough, us watching Japanese Spider-Man and Pride of the X-Men.
Yeah.
It's hard to know what people want.
It really is.
It's impossible to cater our content to people when they don't even know what they want. Do you want Japanese Spider-Man or not? Well, what's happening here? You know.
All right, episode 21. Smark Avengers talk about the death of Superman, where we went through that big event.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 22, where the Smark Avengers watched some more cartoons, where Dylan and I made the mistake of watching the 90s Swamp Thing cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Swamp Thing, Wildcats, and Phantom 2025 or whatever it was called.
Yeah. That thumbnail is a fucking nightmare.
The weed killer? Yeah.
That scary ass bug thing that I put a lot of effort into drawing. I wanted people to know just how horrific that fucking thing was.
Let's see, episode 23, the Smark Avengers talk about Deadpool and Wolverine and Dr. Doom. That one was like, it was not in the rotation, but the announcement of Robert Downey Jr. coming back to be Dr. Doom and Deadpool and Wolverine coming out, we wanted to kind of like see if we could get momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And
be relevant for once.
Be relevant, yeah.
Didn't work.
So we insert, that was a frenzied one of recording it and then editing it and getting it up within like 2 days.
Yeah.
Episode 24, Smark Avengers -1 talks about Corey, because Dylan surprised me with that topic with questions about stuff. The thumbnail is me as the bat monster from Swamp Thing with you dressed as Princess Jasmine riding my back.
Yes, because you were like, we talked about you being on a carpet. I don't remember how that came up, but we talked about me riding like a magic carpet, and I thought, oh, that's gotta be the thumbnail. That's obvious.
In episode 25, our very first auction, where we auction off the X-Men with the old format, where we did not have a wheel, and I knew the order, and you guys were not terribly thrilled that I knew the order of stuff.
It's like cheating, really.
Kinda. I knew what to save my money for.
Exactly.
So, any thoughts on any of those episodes?
They were good. That's it.
There you go. The least viewed was us watching those 90s cartoons, Dylan. Again,
we went through all that for nothing.
Pretty much. We watched Swamp Thing for nothing.
Ugh.
And I think, to no surprise, the talking about Deadpool and Wolverine and Dr. Doom was the most viewed of those 5.
It actually worked. Hot damn.
It did, yeah. We should try again.
Yeah. What film should we talk about now? Captain America.
All right. Episode 26. Smark Avengers -1. Talk about whatever.
Is this the one I wasn't there for?
You were not here for this one.
Okay.
So the thumbnail is John sitting at a dinner table, and I'm getting something out of an oven.
Because I had to, because I wasn't there for it. I had to guess what I thought the episode was about, and I'm like, it's probably about John demanding dinner from Corey, because that's the way it would be.
Yeah, right.
You know, he's very impatient. He's like, I want.
We're all
my
very
steak.
subservient to John.
I don't remember what. I think it's like you're getting a cake or something out of the oven. I don't remember. I do that a lot. I draw people with cakes a lot. I think that comes up again later.
Episode 27, the Smark Avengers talk about Jean Grey, where we wrap up the iconic original 5 X-Men. Episode 28, where we talk about the DC versus Marvel event, where you guys were making your voices heard on who you thought between certain characters who should have won and then who actually won. Because that was the controversy where they like Batman simultaneously won and lost.
Yeah.
Like Captain America was drowning and Batman saved him, but that also meant that Batman lost somehow.
Well, he's a big loser.
Yeah.
Everybody
So the
knows this
thumbnail
about
for that one is, I believe, Namor getting crushed by a whale, because that's how Aquaman beat Namor. Number 29, Smark Avengers talk about good and bad casting in comic book films, where we, talked about roles that we thought were really well done and roles not so much.
Mhm.
And then I was wrong. There was a second two-parter. Episode 30, Smark Avengers talk about Nightfall Part 1, where we talked about the Batman getting his back broken and Azrael replacing him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on those?
We talked about Magneto a lot in that
We do.
one, I think.
We do. Well, we had two different actors to talk about.
Yeah. So that's understandable. But
We talked about Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
I mean, he's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody loves him.
Talked about Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique.
Mm-hmm. She was blue.
Yep, she was blue.
Mm-hmm.
She was certainly there. So our least viewed, oddly enough, these numbers are very, very close. So honestly, it's kind of a tie. So I'll just tell you the two that did better, because the other three got the same amount of viewers. So us talking about Jean Grey and our first X-Men auction were our two best viewed of those five.
Okay.
Episode 31 was the second part of us talking about Nightfall.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 32 was our deep dive into the Hobgoblin.
We had to do it at some point.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Y'all knew we had
do
to
it
talk
to
about the Hobgoblin. You know?
Episode 33 was us talking about spooky characters.
That was like, was it Halloween?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a whole month dedicated to Halloween, so I was part of it.
Yeah, we did. Because we all love Halloween equally. All three of us love Halloween.
So episode 34, I don't know how we came to this conclusion, but episode 34 is talking about supernatural characters. So one week we talked about spooky characters, and the next week we talked about supernatural characters. I don't know what we decided the difference was.
I don't remember. A lot of this is like me just trying to remember what the show was about, and then because whatever I write on the thumbnail, you make as a title.
I make the title, yeah.
So a lot of it's just whatever I can remember, and let's be honest, it's not a lot. So it's just if I remember one or two things, I'm like, that's probably what this show is, you know. So there's probably a distinction in the two episodes.
In the episode itself, but we just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Go back and listen to them.
It's entirely possible that it's not about that at all, and that's just what I thought it was about for a time, you know.
And episode 35 was our second auction, and it was our spooky auction.
Yes.
Ooh.
I love a spooky auction.
Yeah. So of those, the most viewed was the second part of Nightfall, which coincidentally enough had more viewers than the first part of Nightfall.
Strange.
Very weird.
Yeah.
And then the least viewed were our unfortunately, it was a three-way tie between the supernatural characters, the spooky characters, and the Hobgoblin.
What?
People like an auction.
People don't like the Hobgoblin? What the fuck?
I don't know, but they like an auction. They got more. The auction got more viewers.
This will not. I thought for sure you're gonna say the three worst ones were like all of the spooky Halloween ones, because it's like we dedicated a whole month to Halloween, and people were like, we don't want it.
We don't want it. So we have episode 36, Smark Avengers -1, talk about whatever again. This is another one without Dylan, and our thumbnail is me and John parachuting. Or skydiving.
Yes, skydiving.
Episode 37 is us doing a fun quiz.
Okay. Oh, it was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Episode 38, we watch more cartoons.
The Battletoads?
Yeah, that's the Battletoads episode.
Yeah.
Episode 39, Smark Avengers -1. This is one where you and John talk about the 90s Spider-Man cartoon.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
And episode 40, we talk about the worst deaths in comics.
Okay. Yes.
So
I feel like
got another.
I think something I talked about in that episode might be coming up in a future episode.
Well, I will tell you the thumbnail for that one is MJ Watson died from jizz. I think that's what that thumbnail says.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that one.
Talk about semen an awful lot. You know how we always like kind of jokingly say we're not an X-Men podcast? Yeah, we should probably say we're not a jizz podcast.
We are 100% a semen podcast.
All right, so you guys want to know what this is such a weird one. I want to know why and how this happened. But the least watched episode was the two of you talking about 90s Spider-Man cartoon.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's the
absolute bullshit.
The least one.
That's crazy.
And this episode is the most watched episode on the entire channel.
It's got to be the jizz one.
No. It's us watching Battletoads.
What?
It's by far the most watched one. It's us watching Battletoads and that Iron Man cartoon, and then there was something else because I just remembered like, wow, all of these are diabolical. Like this is just bad. We've not had another Let's Watch since then, and that was in November.
What are the numbers in that one then?
So, case in point, we average around 10-ish views in some of these episodes. 43.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but that video got viewed 43 times.
Those poor 43 people.
Probably the 43 people who made that Battletoads cartoon.
That Battletoads, I remember I had seen that before, and I'm like, you guys have to see it because it's tremendously awful. Like it's really bad.
We were all there, Dylan. You were drunk.
Yeah, but like I don't remember what the third one was.
Was it Toxic Avengers?
Yes, it was.
Toxic
the order
Crusaders.
was we did Battletoads, Toxic Crusaders, and we ended on Iron Man because we thought it would be the Iron Man theme that John really liked, but it was not.
No, that's true.
What a letdown.
Yep. The whole episode was a letdown.
No, it was great. Talking about Battletoads.
You were drunk. You disappeared during the Iron Man cartoon, Dylan. You were just gone.
That's why
me and John talking.
That's why I couldn't remember the third one because I guess I
blacked
didn't
out.
watch it. Yeah.
You blacked out, but you came right back for the end of the show.
Good. Was that the one where I like ended the show an hour after we ended it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where we were just kind of winding down and just talking about general stuff. You're like, well, it's been a great episode. I'm like, Dylan, we ended the show a while ago, bud.
Yeah, we're not recording.
All right, episode 41, we talk about the best comic book deaths. Episode 42, we kill Wolverine. Episode 43, we have our Spider-Man villain auction.
Classic.
Episode 44, we do our review of Claws.
Oh, yeah.
In episode 45, we do, it's the beginning of Johnless January where we talk about our New Year's resolutions in comics.
Yeah.
So, what do you think was the most viewed and least viewed?
Ooh.
I'm going to say the Spidey villain auction was the most viewed.
You would think so. You would hope so.
And least viewed, I don't know. Maybe New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, I think the least viewed one was the one without John in it because people are like, we're not watching the show if John's not on it.
So the least viewed was our Claws review. No one really wanted to talk about Claws.
Bullshit.
Missing out.
What's wrong with people?
Our most viewed from that was the Spider Villain auction.
Okay, fair.
And then right behind it though was our New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
Well, people need. I don't even remember any of the stuff we said in that.
All right, episode 46, Smark Avengers -1, continuation of Johnless January by talking about X-Men pet peeves.
Yeah.
Episode 47, Smark Avengers -2, where I talk about non-superhero comics.
Stop to the show by yourself.
Yep. Our shortest episode by far.
Yeah.
Episode 48.
To say.
Yep. Episode 48, the Smark Avengers -1, where we talk about potential villains getting their own solo series, which was the return of Sugar Man.
That was the infamous episode where the thumbnail had to be censored.
Yep, our censored thumbnail. Too hot for TV.
It's too hot for anybody.
Episode
So
49.
So hot, nobody should see it.
Yep. Episode 49, the Smark Avengers talk about Magneto, where we extend our X-Men deep dive to start including Magneto, and then in future we'll do Xavier and some of the other mutants that came about as a result.
Yeah, we love talking about Magneto.
And I'll go ahead and hit 51 and 52, or 50 and 51. 50 is pitching our own Spider-Man villain films, and 51 is our auction of the Justice League. At this time, 52 has not aired yet.
So we're not going to tell you what it is.
Yep.
It's a secret.
Well, no, at this point, if you're watching this, you already know what it is because it came before this episode.
Yes, but it's still a secret.
Okay. So what do you think was the most viewed and least viewed of those?
I bet we'd like it if the most viewed was Magneto.
Yeah.
We would love that. But you've already let us down with the Hobgoblin thing. So...
I will tell you, our viewership did go up during the month of January, and that's unfortunately going to have to mean I'm going to get the Instagram back up and running again, because I think that had a lot to do with it.
I think so. You were doing a lot of like proactive stuff on Instagram, and
Blue Sky just does not have that reach.
Well, not yet.
Give it time.
Once it's owned by
there. We're not getting rid of it.
Once it gets taken over by like a really horrible billionaire
human being
that has ruined the planet, then people are going to flock to that website.
Yeah. So least viewed and most viewed from that period of time. Least viewed is us pitching our Spider-Man villain films. I suppose I can understand why. We are actively saying, hey, these are not going to have any recognizable characters in it.
Hydra Man.
Sugar Man made an appearance in that.
Yeah. Well, now he's the mascot.
Most viewed. Most viewed. The episode that's just me.
Wow.
Yeah, weirdly enough.
Wait a minute now, guys. People who listen to the show, I am incredibly offended at a lot of the things I've heard today. You don't like Hobgoblin. You don't like Seaman, I suppose, because they don't seem to have done very well. You don't like me and John.
It's starting to get really targeted.
It feels personal.
What more do we like? What do we have to do to win you over? You know, we're doing the best we can.
I will say after that though was the Magneto episode and the X-Men Pet Peeves. They tied for second most viewed after that, and then the solo books was after that. Dylan with the Sugar Man MODOK love scene.
You would think that would have shot right up to the top. People
so I will tell you
that picture, you know.
I will tell you in the grand scheme of things, our most viewed episodes, period, or our most viewed episode is us in that Battletoad episode. I do not know what it was.
It's the thumbnail. We look so handsome.
We're so beefy.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the few thumbnails where I'm a grown man. So maybe that's what people.
I will say our views do tend to go up over time. So like a lot of the older episodes have more views, and you can see there's just been kind of gradually more activity. So I think it's just we're gradually getting inserted into the algorithm of stuff.
It's consistency. Like that's what YouTube likes. If you keep posting stuff a lot, you can see. Unless you post Animal Crossing videos every day, in which case they're not interested.
All right, yeah, but that is sort of our dive on the Volume 2 and Volume 3 of Smark Avengers.
Yeah.
Of course, you said episode 52 is not out yet.
The secret.
It is a secret. We're not going to discuss it. Surely we aren't going to discuss who won.
Nothing happened.
You just skip that one.
Secret. Yeah. Go listen to the Hobgoblin one again.
So yeah, now that you've heard all that, like, what was the most surprising thing that you heard from it?
Battletoads is the most surprising thing.
100%.
I am so confused about that. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just people were like, they were just searching Battletoads and saw it. I don't know. I really don't know.
Maybe we should just be a Battletoads podcast.
Yeah. Those iconic characters like Zitz and Rash and Gonorrhea.
His name is Pimple. Please.
The clap.
No. You're deliberately making fun of the battle. You're gonna scare off our viewers. You're making fun of the
Oh,
battle.
that's right. I have to honor the Battletoads.
You gotta be nice to the Battletoads.
We'll never make a living off of this podcast if I piss off the Battletoad fans.
You could have just stopped that after. We'll never make a living off this podcast.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a good way to just kind of put out that even though we are looking at our viewership and stuff, like this is really just for us and to have fun and just talk to each other about random stuff.
Which is why
Mhm.
we're not that annoyed that the Jizz episodes aren't doing super well.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they're the
I mean,
funniest
for
ones
some-
to make.
We put a lot of effort into that jizz.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Some of
John
that-
was eating pineapple for months.
Yeah.
you don't have to eat it for months. Just a couple of days will do.
Now you just
Oh,
got
wait.
really into the taste.
I mean,
It's
don't
too
worry
late
about it.
now.
Yeah, we'll just keep eating pineapples. If you just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it, just like the taste of pineapple. You know what I mean?
well, is it the pineapple he likes the taste of? Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Right?
Oh, God.
All right. Well,
Thumbnail.
is the thumbnail just gonna be the three of us eating pineapple? Oh no.
Eating pineapple or eating something else? Oh,
Ayo.
I'll never tell.
Volume
You'll have to
4.
check out
starting
the
off on
show
a
to
great
find out.
note. All right. Well, so like you said, is there? It's just funny to me that I feel like the murder episodes are the ones that don't do as well because I think that's just fun.
They're really fun to
Yeah.
do. They're a lot of fun. Like
The watch-alongs I really do.
Yeah.
Aside from Battletoads, I totally understand why those are not viewed as much.
yeah,
Mhm.
but the kill ones, I really like doing them because you have to think a lot about how to, because they're supposed to be unkillable or whatever. And I like the Wolverine one. I was like, let's. Who was the one? Was it Wolverine where I was like, you just pour cement in his throat?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that would kill him, wouldn't it? Like that would do
Yeah.
it. You know.
The healing factor can't undo Wolverine. It can't undo cement.
Can't do Yeah, it's just there. There it is. What are you gonna do? You know. I like those ones. Yeah, I really like those ones. I'd like to do another one of them in the future.
I think just any sort of episode we do with interaction is probably the most fun to do. Like whether it's the auction or coming to the conference, like we had to make our movie pitch and stuff. Like that was
Yeah.
just kind of fun to get involved in.
Yeah.
Like I like the ones where we do a deep dive on story, but I also like there's a part of me that worries about it because they're like, is it just like somebody reading too much?
Mm.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it is when it's about the Flash.
Yeah. Well, like, so I was thinking, like, when we were doing, like, the X-Men deep dives, and it's usually somebody, like, kind of just doing a run-through on it. And I know that as, like, a participant in those conversations, it's sort of like, where can I, like, jab in with something dumb to say?
That's my
And
job. That's
thankfully-
my job.
Magneto gave us so many great options with getting turned into a fucking baby.
Magneto
Gave
baby.
us so many. And, like, his various love interests that he had, despite being
Yeah.
a very old man. Like, wow. There's hope for all of us out there.
Yeah.
Magneto can still get, still get laid after, being around for the Holocaust.
Well, it's part of it is he can attract the iron in people's blood, so he can like physically attract people to him. You know what I mean?
Where you were going with that for a second.
What did you what?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering.
You were waiting for like some kind of jizz punchline.
I was waiting for
Sometimes there
something.
isn't one. Sometimes it's just a wholesome show.
Yeah,
where we
sometimes
don't-
there's sometimes semen is not involved.
which are our lowest rated episodes.
Yeah.
Speaking of semen, what do you think? Now that you can
Continue.
now that you can see all the thumbnails in front of you, Corey, which one's your favorite?
Oh, my favorite thumbnail. I don't know. I always really like the Cyclops one. I just like that kind of level of interaction. I love that one. I love it's not helpful when we're doing the retrospective, but I do love the talk about whatevers, and it's just like some random thing that's happening. Those are always great too.
Yeah.
Like, what did we even talk about here? Because like when I saw the one of me and John like skydiving, I was like, what were we talking about? And I was like, oh, that's when we were talking about like the Creature Commandos and the Jason Todd Dick Grayson movie they're making, how it's gonna involve puppets somehow. Yeah.
Is Hardy
Getting
Cameron's
weird.
gonna be in it?
Yeah. She's gonna be there with the Mercedes Monet puppet.
Yeah. That's important.
It's crucial.
But she's really over. So
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, she was in that Star Wars show.
yes, she was. And I think she was the me in Star Wars in it.
Yeah,
wasn't
she was. Yeah, she
was the
was.
me in
She
Star
was.
Wars.
She was the Death Star.
Yeah, but hell of a role. I don't know how she did it.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, she disappeared into the part for sure.
Incredible. She's better at this than we thought.
Yeah, she is.
Mhm.
All right. Well, do you guys have any other thoughts before we wrap this one up?
But it's good on us for going for a full year.
Yes. Absolutely.
Congratulations to all three of us. All
That's-
four of us.
Hey.
Hey.
I will say that I think that's been like kind of the enjoyable thing about this is like how consistent we've been with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a period of time where we had like a month of episodes ahead of us, and even now that because of like the holidays, we didn't get a chance to record as much. Even then, though, we still haven't missed any weeks.
Yeah, because
So we
we're
got
really
a full
good.
month straight.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we've got a bunch of different sort of gimmicks that we can keep going back to as well, like the auction or talking about the X-Men characters or trying to kill a character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it
It-
feels good to have these things in the
Puts
bank.
a different
but-
spin on things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and especially because like we are not a traditional comic book podcast, in that we are not like doing reviews of books all the time. You know, like
No,
we're not
no.
talking about current stuff that's happening in it. We're talking about sort of evergreen topics. So
Mhm.
it makes getting like episodes done ahead of time very easy to do.
Yeah.
Plus,
That'd
like
be
you said,
boring.
like, yeah.
You know?
Plus, you know, like you said, like we have these games and stuff we can go back to, whether it's the auctions or trivia or killing a character or a deep dive on the X-Men, or you know, if we could find something worth watching again, we could always do another watch along, even if they're not the most viewed episodes we do. It's just fun to watch something and make jokes about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've been wanting to do the Roger Corman Fantastic Four with you guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially
yeah, we
now
were
because
talking about
Fantastic
that.
Four is in the news with the new
Exactly.
trailer.
Yeah.
Could
And
be
I
a good
love
time.
that movie as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater a couple years ago.
I think it's the
Specific-
best big screen version of Doctor Doom.
Well, the competition wasn't that hard now, was it?
So far,
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's gonna come back. He'll be back.
he will be back. Now, is he the villain? He's not the villain in the Fantastic Four movie.
No. I
He's
don't
actually
know.
the thing.
Well, I guess it's just Galactus who looks like is the only real villain, and John Malkovich.
He's always a villain.
He is.
Is he the Mole Man?
They haven't actually announced who he is.
Actually, now you mention it, maybe he's Red Ghost.
Yeah. I think that's probably the more likely option.
That sounds like a joke thing to say because Red Ghost is a guy who can walk through walls and he has like monkeys and apes that are his henchmen, but
Mhm.
I could see it.
You can see Malkovich like just draw it like cast wise. He looks like him.
Yeah.
He looks like the Red Ghost. So that's fair enough.
You
Who
know
do you
who's
cast to be the
Galactus?
monkeys though?
What was that?
Well, all the monkeys aside from Mickey Dolenz are dead though, so you have to. Thank you, John. Thank you for that. I enjoy a good pity chuckle from John every now and then.
You can't see his face, but he's really just like looking totally disgusted at you,
Probably
shaking his head like, "What am I doing?
wasting my time on this.
I could be talking about Magneto again."
So yeah, is Galactus like cast? I'm sure they've not revealed who that is.
No, they've revealed who it is. I think
Who is it?
it's Ralph Ineson,
Oh, interesting.
who was in The Witch and just like a bunch of other movies. You'd totally recognize him if you saw him.
He's that guy.
Yeah.
He's a big cloud.
Yep, he's a giant cloud hurtling towards Earth.
Yeah.
Does that
He's
also mean
scary.
there's a Silver Surfer?
Yes, but instead of the traditional Norrin Rad male
Okay.
Silver Surfer, I think it's whoever his girlfriend was in the comics.
Okay, the one who's like a fire lady, Can't remember the character name, saved my life. because she was the other herald for Galactus.
It was apparently it's Shalabal.
Sure.
Uh,
Sha-na-na.
It's not a real name.
The Immortal Empress of Zenla and lover of Norin Rad.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
There it
Well,
is.
I know this is kind of a behind the scenes thing. We're gonna immediately record another episode after this. Do you want to save
we
John's
are.
movie count for this, or
Just make up a number.
yeah, John, make up a number that is not the actual number, lower than the number that it currently is.
Okay.
But higher than
Uh,
7.
In that case, I have watched 130 movies so far this year.
There we go. So, John, if people want to see what those 130 movies are, and your reviews have said 130 movies, where can they find you?
They can find me on Letterboxd at Big John Bowski, all one word.
And Dangerous Peter, what's going on in the world? What's going on in the world of Captain Explodey?
Nothing. Leave me alone.
Okay.
Don't come looking for me. Don't just let me die in peace, please.
I mean, I wouldn't want to go chasing after someone named Dangerous Peter. He's dangerous. It's right.
He's
there in the
very
name.
dangerous. He's a loose cannon, and he owns 4 guns.
Whoa.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
That's nothing in America. Tell me when you get 8.
Well, we're not allowed 8 because we have strict gun control laws over here.
Oh, not here.
All right. So
That's the only amendment of the Constitution we ain't breaking these days.
well, think about that, man. I'm so dangerous. I don't even need a million guns.
That just sounds like poor quality control.
I think America needs to get better. Like, what's the point of having 58 guns and you're not that dangerous, man? You know what I mean?
Are you
Yeah,
sure we're not that dangerous?
I'm saying I'm more dangerous than they are. It's in my name.
right.
It's right on
That's
the
true.
thing.
Dangerous Peter.
Yeah.
All
I don't know if
right,
it shows
well-
up in the video, but there's a
It
little.
will.
Okay.
It will. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you're not gonna have any fucking clue what we're talking about. But
Go to YouTube
Go to YouTube. Check it out on YouTube.
and watch the
that's a good
Hobgoblin
point.
episode.
These stats I gave you are not the Spotify numbers. These are just the numbers on YouTube.
Spotify
Mhm.
don't share the numbers until you crack 1,000.
Okay.
So if you have 4 views, they won't show it.
Well, no, but the RSS feed that we host our stuff on does show the numbers.
Oh, is it 4? What's
No, it's a little more than 4.
4.5?
All right. Well, I've got another show called Large Old Cup. It is a spoken word storytelling stream of consciousness podcast. It's usually about whatever's going on. I've gotten some really interesting and weird traction on that lately. So check that out. By the time you listen to this, we probably will have resurrected the Instagram account because that seems to help us get more views than Blue Sky. That is for sure, sadly. So you can find us there at the Smark Avengers on Instagram. You can find us on Smark Avengers on Blue Sky. We're not going to Twitter. Fuck that place. That's everything I got. You guys have anything else you want to contribute before we wrap it up?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Okay. Well, in that case, I hope you've enjoyed our brand new Volume 4, Episode 1, all new creative team. It's not all new exciting characters. There's not going to be any. All new adventures. There might be a few. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
There it is.
In strong.
Mhm.